thank you for tuning in and welcome to my new video, or should I say podcast. I'm going to be doing a lot of these on a regular basis, probably twice or three times a week. Please do not forget to subscribe and also click that ring button or that bell so that you can get notified every time I post a new video. So, in today's topic, we're going to be discussing our normal monthly groceries. How much are you spending? And how many are you in your family? We often get too many questions from different people, and they're asking, with regards to normal monthly groceries, would you rather buy every month and pay less, or buy enough to last about 2 months and pay slightly more? I personally buy items I can stockpile and that we regularly use, and when on a saving, but trying to figure out what to do this year. So basically, this year has been really tough because there's so many price increases, especially with tomatoes and okay, let's just say veggies and tomatoes to be specific, and also meat. I prefer to buy meat from a butchery, and also prefer buying fruits and veggies from street vendors or fruit and veg shops, and then I will then opt for non-perishable food from our large retailers. So we're gonna look at other people's comment regards to this topic, and I just saw people spending 7,000 on food, and I'm not surprised, because also my husband does the weekly shopping, and every time he comes back, I'm like, did you spend so much only on these? And I ask myself, okay, maybe we should opt for just buying in bulk, and then it doesn't matter if we spend more like the first month and the second month, but at least in the next, the third month or so, then we know that we're only spending less. We just buying fresh food. For example, things like canned food, sauces, bathing stuff. Those things you can always buy them in bulk. And you can also cut down on snacks. Snacks are so expensive. Yesterday I went to the shops and I was craving these sweets, my favorite ones. And when I got to the store, I saw they were 22 rand. I was like, okay, if I buy 5 of these already, I've spent almost 120 or 110 rands. And even if I don't buy 5 packets, but every time I make rounds, or every time I go to the stores within a month, I'll be just spending 110 rands just on that. And don't forget, we also have our Zimbas, our, what do you call this, potato chips. They're also expensive. They go for about 18 rands per pack, and you also get those ones for kids. When they go to school and stuff, you also buy them for something like, I'm not too sure. I don't usually check the price, but it's really wise to now. It's gonna be better for us if we go back to our shopping list planning, and also try to write down like the most important things, and also try to buy those 100 rand specials. I usually see them at ShopRite and Checkers, but ShopRite mostly, and Boxer stores. So if you can just buy those special specials every now and then, you know that you're covered on some things, So, as I was saying, guys, let's go to the comments and read what other people are saying, right? So we have one person says, I buy on a monthly basis. Sometimes I have to end up buying weekly as well. If the items are on special, I buy and stockpile. Then for the next few months, I don't buy those items. But it is very hard, especially when you have a growing family, to buy every 2 months. Yeah, especially if you have a kid, like if you have a toddler that's still on nappies, for example, or you have those toddlers, up until 6 years. They still need those nutritional milk, and you buy nappies for the ones under 2 years, and they cost quite a lot. I mean, you can just spend 1,000 rands a month just on diapers and milk, and we're not counting any form of clothing or toys or any entertainment, but we're just counting the basics. My daughter, to be specific, she uses 3 tins of 1.8 kilograms of formula a month, and this is due to it's been like that, ever since she started formula, and it's really frustrating because only on that I spend around 700, and then now we look at the nappies. Remember, nappies, we have different brands, and I recently opted for the ones from Clicks, and they work better for me, because other brands were leaking, and I don't want to name and shame any products, but I'm just saying I opted for the Clicks one for the past 3 months now, and I'm happy, So, as I was saying, guys, if you have kids and toddlers, it becomes more expensive, Yeah. So we're gonna go to the second comment. Let's see. So this lady says, we elevate savings. So buy something you like or spend much in bulk when on special. Special usually every month. So for 3 months can be stocking, and then take a break for 6 months. Never stop to be wise on usage. Food measurement is fantastic. Avoid to take food to the drain. Yeah, that's a very, very good comment and good advice. Waste is also something that's killing us, because especially I think it's best if, like, most of us would or could invest in deep freezers, in the sense that that you are definitely gonna cut up your veggies, cut up your whatever meat, divide it into portions, and then you just freeze it, and even if you're tired, sometimes it's easier to cook when things are readily cut, or when they are basically ready for you to cook. So I would say that having a deep freezer is also a very good investment. That you can just cut up your veggies and you can just use them throughout the month. Yes, there are other veggies that are not going to be as fresh as good, but you'll also be saving. But now, if you know how to cook, and if you follow the right and the correct procedure on how to cook that frozen veggie, then you are good to go. I would say also, if you have kids, also try not to pamper them up with a lot of things on their plate, and if you're having starch, for example, if you're having rice, it's also best not to eat potatoes at the same time, if you get what I'm saying, because you still get the protein and whatever, the carbohydrates or whatever from that. So also, because now we are headed to winter, we are already in autumn, so it's best that you leave those chops and that fancy meat, and look at buying beef, beef bones, lentils, beans, and whatever. They're so good and also give us the very same proteins that we get from other kinds of, meat and stuff. So that is just my opinion. Lentils are very, very cheap and they can last, if you buy just 10 packets, they can last a month or two, if you don't cook you don't cook them every day. I beg your pardon. So as I was saying, I'm still reading comments here. So this person, guys, I'm reading the comments from Facebook. So some people have some errors on their text, but I'm hoping it'll make sense when I read it out. So this lady says, I prefer to buy ahead, especially when I see good deals, and mostly do cleaning supplies, toiletries, and long shelf life food. Yeah, I know that for sure. As I was saying, that the toiletries and stuff, those that don't expire, you can just buy them. Whenever you see a special, you just buy stockpile, and you'd be surprised on how much you'd be saving on your monthly expenses, excluding that. So she also says, I also normally buy meat in bigger quantities and keep it in freezer. However, now with the load shedding, I'm not sure if it is a good idea. Yeah, guys, it helps not going to the shops regularly, since you tend to add things to your cart that might not be needed. Yes, guys, and that is a killer, I'm telling you, because if you go to the store and you're planning on just buying bread and, let's say, bread and eggs, and you're going to a large retailer, trust me, you're going to pick up some few items and add onto the basket. And at the end of the day, when you get home, you're like, really, I shouldn't have bought this, I really shouldn't have. And remember, guys, when something is on sale, it doesn't basically mean that it is free, but also, yes, if it is on sale and you feel like you need it, or you might need it in future, and it's and if it's a huge need, then I think you can opt for that. So another lady on Facebook says, I used to buy 6 times of big items that I use on a monthly basis during the sale at ShopRite. For example, the rice, the mealie meal, sugar, washing soap, bath soaps, and relax for the next 6 months on most items. It made me avoid shopping a bit because I knew I had the basics. Wow, guys, that is also so wise. It's really wise to do that. I find it very fascinating as well, that when those 100 rand specials come up, I think I'm gonna just opt for that, honestly. Let's say you get what you would say, you get rice, you get mealie meal, you get sugar, you get washing powder and bath soaps. I mean, that's quite a lot. If you can get that for only 100 rand, even if it's small, like the rice can be 2 kg and the mealie meal can also be a little bit smaller. But then if you buy them if you buy them times 6, it makes sense. It makes sense and could last for about 3 months or so, depending on the size of the family. Okay, guys, we are going to go to the next comment. So the lady says, I buy most stuff that we need in bulk and only buy fresh stuff weekly. When I then do this, I do this and take a portion of the money I would have used to buy groceries for the month and save that. So end of May, I will take the money I saved and do bulk shopping again, which will last until end of November. Guys, imagine end of November. Ha! And then comes end of November, I do bulk shopping again. Detergents, I normally stockpile for the year, so only buy once a year. Wow, guys, really. If you have friends, you probably need this type of friends in your circle. I'm telling you. Sure. So if you buy now, she says she's gonna buy end of May, and then whatever money that she's been saving, she'll be buying groceries for until November, which will last them at least until the end of November. And then she's gonna do bulk shopping again, which will probably last her until next year around April. Guys, this is really, really smart, I'm telling you. Sure, I'm gonna react on this. Okay, so yeah, guys, also load shedding is a very, very huge factor when it comes to our frozen stuff. It spoils them. And also, if you invest in a generator, I'm not too sure if like most of us can afford a generator. And at times people can complain that it's too loud and whatever. We get neighbors that are very, very nosy. So let's hear what this person is saying. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people saying no. I'm definitely gonna opt for a generator in terms of load shedding, because I think it's the load shedding now is better. It goes out for like 3 hours, and then comes back again. Yeah, we don't know, like 3 hours is not that bad, but we don't know in other areas if it's still like the same as like going off for like 12 hours and then coming back the next day, or 2 days without electricity. I'm not too sure on that, guys. Do let us know what is happening in your area. How is the load shedding? And please do comment. Let us know how you feel about this whole thing of monthly grocery expenses. Are you spending more? Are you spending less? Are you frustrated, or you just find whatever that you're spending, you feel like it's actually less compared to others? So this lady says, I have a weekly budget for food and I don't spend anything over and above that. I know exactly what it is in my pantry and freezer and plan my weekly menu from that, so that my cupboards don't have items I don't use. For me, it works out cheaper not to stockpile, but to make sure I eat everything in my cupboard so nothing goes to waste. Yes, guys, I think that's also a very, very good point. Sometimes we tend to buy things that we already have. That's why it's very important to have a grocery list before you head to the stores. And also, it's not some type of show off or anything if your pantries are and your cupboards are like fully packed, whereby you don't even use any of those things. You're always shopping for new stuff, but then the ones that you have in your house, in your cupboards, you're not using. So I guess that is totally waste, and yeah, you are being wasteful, and I think it's time to change that behavior, that habit of just stockpiling everything and not using. And yeah, just think about those who don't have much, and maybe it could motivate you to to cut down on that. So this other lady says, I used to buy in bulk and keep things we use regularly. I just found that there was too much wasting. You see, that's what I was saying. I So she says, I would have opened packets and jars of everything that goes to waste. Also, if my helper saw there was extra, then she would also help herself. It cost me more to buy bulk, so now I just buy groceries weekly. Yo, guys, I can't imagine. I can't imagine her helper helping herself with her stuff. So the lady commented on her. She says, I hide it. Even my own kids don't take without asking. But then they are older, so they understand. So this one says, the very same lady who was saying her helper helps herself. See, I wish I had space to hide and lock stuff away. But even in my cupboards, my helper and husband find the stuff. Yeah, guys, that is so not nice, I'm telling you. So yes, stockpiling, guys, in simple terms, is when you buy things in bulk and store them, and to avoid regular shopping. So also it has its own advantages and disadvantages in terms of the type of things that you stockpile and how you store them. So that's just basically it. So we have a lady. I think this is going to be our last comment, and we're going to be looking at the list of topics that I'm going to be discussing in the future, and also what to look out for from our channel. And also I'll be looking forward to your comments. And yeah, guys, let us build our community. Let us motivate each other, especially as black women. Let us hold on to each other. We need each other. And yeah, so okay, not only just women, guys, every gender is welcome. But I'm just saying, and me as a black woman, putting it out there. Okay, guys, we have our last lady says, try buying all your basics in bulk. It will save you a lot of money, as these last up to 6 months. For example, if you buy 50 kgs of rice, 50 kg of sugar, 20 kg of flour, and 20-liter buckets, to store all of that, I think it makes sense. Yeah, she is right. Instead of buying 2 kg, when I was still living in my parents' house, I would see them buying the 2 kg rice, and I asked myself, okay, why? Because it was the 4 of us, 5, including my daughter, but she was still young at that time. So I'd ask myself, this 2 kg, like, how long will it last us? I was asking myself those type of questions. But because at that time I was still under my parents' roof, so I didn't know the pain of spending on groceries. And my dad used to buy, he used to buy snacks and stuff every Sunday, and they would total up to like 500. And because he loves them a lot himself, so I guess he was just feeding his cravings. Honestly, I wouldn't buy snacks for 500. Trust me, I wouldn't. Like I said, when I saw those sweets for 22 rands, and I was like, okay, if I buy so much and so much in a month, I'll be spending this much. No way, So I think it's very important, guys, to look at how much you're spending and look at how much you could save. And also, let's try to buy dried food or canned food and stuff like that, non-perishable food. We buy in bulk and save. You'd be surprised how much you could save, guys. And and also I also have a tip before we go. every time you go shopping, especially on the weekend, make sure that you eat at home before you leave. In this sense, you will be saving a lot on takeaway food. And also, if you have kids, make sure you feed them up. You know that you'll be only buying ice cream or just soda or juice, on the way, or when you get to the mall, or on your way back home. This will save you a lot of money. Because a meal for one person, I've seen, you could spend almost 80 bucks, if not 100. But if you're lucky, you could pay 50 rands. You could spend or pay 50 rands. And if it's you and your kids, imagine how much that would total to. And you don't want to get home and regret now spending on certain things, and now you all depressed. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have spent on this and that. So yes, guys, let's be wise. Let's save and save. And also, when you're about to spend on something that you don't really need, just think about those who do not have anything at all, and ask yourself, how do they survive? Obviously, they do survive without certain things, and I think we should look at certain things if we really do need them, or we don't. So yes, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, like, or share our content. And also, we're looking forward to discussing issues, very, very serious issues, including marriages, relationships, parenthood, and quite a lot more. This is my first. I'd say it's more of a voice note, honestly, because I did not mention if it's my first episode, season 1, podcast, whatever. But we are looking forward to doing podcast as well, to accommodate those who are not in South Africa too. And I try to keep it more simple, simple English as well, and not include any vernac, as I do get listeners from the United States and other countries. So yes, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you in the next one. And I will not spam you guys. Please don't forget to click that button, that ring button, the bell, so that every time I post, then you can just come through and listen. I guess our next topic is gonna be more on how much does a parent should pay for child maintenance. So basically, we're going to be discussing child maintenance, how much is enough, and what makes another parent say, no, this money is not enough, while on their side they're not doing any means to take care of the kid. Do you think it's only one parent's responsibility to take care of the child, or it's both parents' responsibility? And also, would you let another person take care of your child while you are still there and you're not doing any means or trying your best to take care of the child? And things like, are you getting access to your kid? Things like that. It's very, very important to discuss such things, as we may all have different scenarios, but also it's best to hear from other people. So yes, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. Do not forget, guys, and don't forget to comment, anything you'd like for us to discuss. Please do not forget to comment. Soon we're gonna have our WhatsApp line and also our email address for those who would like to remain anonymous. So thank you from me, Emily Wales, from me to you. I love you guys. Cheers.